In today's video, I am going to be recording different baseline inbounds plays that you can run against a 2-3 zone. These are fantastic, easy plays to be able to run, and you should be able to run these with most teams. So let's get down and let's check these basketball plays out. But really quickly, if you want a very simple offense to be able to run, make sure to go check out my 5-out complete guide that is down in the description below. Okay, so in a 2-3 zone, what you're basically doing is you are guarding spots on the court. You are not guarding an individual man. So trying to inbound against a zone basically gives you a different challenge than a normal man-to-man would. So in this first play, we're going to start with a low post player in the low post. We're going to start with probably our best shooter on the elbow on the non-ball side. And then we're going to be having two players on this side of the court along the sideline. How we are going to start this is player 4 is going to try and post up player 4 red. Player 2 is going to set a down screen on player 3, and player 5 is going to be setting a screen on player 1. Now there's a reason why this works extremely well. So the reason is, with this screen, player 1 is going to then sprint out to this side. When this happens, there are a few things that could happen. Number 1, player 5 could follow, and because he's following to the edge of his zone, this could leave player 4 wide open for the layup. Obviously, the number 1 option would be to player 1 for the 3-point shot, and if he gets his 3-point shot, then that's absolutely fantastic. Now, what I'm going to tell you though is, with player 4, if you were to feed him once or twice, this is going to keep player 5 on that side of the key, which then has player 1 and 3 trying to fight over. When this happens, if player 3 is stuck, player 1 fights over and player 5 is on this side, player 5 cuts to the rim, it's wide open layup. If player 1 in general fights over, player 5 cuts to the rim. If player 3 fights over, player 2 needs to cut to the rim because he's going to be wide open as well. These are some very simple options that you can use out of this basketball inbounds play. Another very popular play that you can run is to have player 1 set a screen on this side, player 2 heads over and sets a screen on this side, and then player 5 will cut down middle, which would then allow him to have the open layup. Player 4 would then be the safety coming out towards that left side over here. So if player 5 wasn't open, this is a very common play. You generally see this with like 90% of all rep teams / AAU teams up here in Canada. Player 4 would be the backup option, the safety net on this play. Now this next and final play that I'm going to show you is a favorite of mine, and there's a reason for it being my favorite. It kind of overloads the zone. So basically we're going to have player 1 cut to this low post, we're going to have player 5 sprint down, and player 4 go to that low post. Player 1 is going to try and post up this guy, player 5 is going to try and post up this guy, player 4 is going to try and post up this guy. Meanwhile, player 2 is going to sprint over to this corner, and that is going to allow player 2 to be potentially wide open. Obviously if these guys are open you could feed them, but in reality it's going to be player 2 that would be most likely open because this is just going to get way over contested. I'll actually give you one more play because I actually really like this play as well. And basically the idea here is you're putting player 3 in a situation to guard both 5 and 2. We want to try and get the ball into player 2. So he may have to start in low and pop out and then get that ball passed to him, but either way he's getting the ball here. That's going to draw the defense out like this. When this happens, player 2 is going to make that pass over to player 1, and then he is going to be setting the screen on player 3. Player 3 blue is then going to pop out, he's going to receive that pass back, and he's going to take that 3-point shot. The other option is player 1 could just dribble up top and run your zone offense. But either way, what I would like you to do is to make sure to go check out my complete guide to the 5-out offense, because if you are looking for a very simple offense that can basically advance through your age groups that you go from, for example, if you're coaching grade 10 or under 10 years old and you are going to eventually coach them at U16, U19, whatever, then at that point, you would be able to basically use that same offense, but then make it more and more advanced over their ages. Anyways, I hope that you've enjoyed today's video. Hit that like button and subscribe, and I will see you guys again in my next video.